gonna do it anyway. We're gonna do it anyway. We're gonna do it anyway.
That's tough. I will vote for Donald Trump. That's crazy. They sending you to Mexico. The regime in Cuba won't even take you back. They're like, we don't want them either. Take them somewhere else where they speak Spanish. That's crazy. If only you just voted the right way.
Do you all remember this person who is here?
Now I tell you.
You know that I am 100% Republican. I voted for President Donald Trump, and I am completely against the illegal immigration that has surged in recent years to the United States. This country, which welcomed me so many years ago and saw my children born, is at its lowest and without brakes. So I cannot allow people to keep coming who do not want to respect the legal process to get papers in this country and benefit from the aid. I have always thought that what they eat in this country is for young children, the elderly, and people who are disabled. And that thing about coming to the United States to Paris so their children could have a social status is also going to end.
3 Doritos later.
In the words of President Donald Trump, I believed in immigration reform. I believed all the speech that President Donald Trump sold us during the presidential campaign, but I realized with my own eyes that President Donald Trump is nothing more than a racist and is against the Latinos who live in the United States and contribute to these communities. So Santia says, I have realized because I have seen the large number of homes that President Donald Trump with his immigration reform laws has destroyed, the number of families he has separated, the number of girls and boys who have been left without their parents due to the racist ideas of this government. I regret so much having given my vote to a person who today does not value us and sees us as trash. There are so many cases right now of people being unjustly deported from the United States, like the case of Heidi Sanchez, a woman who was married to an American citizen who had been in the United States for 5 years with a 1-year-old girl who went to her ICE appointment and was deported. It's sad, sir. It's sad. Everything that's happening and cases like this are every day. I honestly believed when President Donald Trump said he was only going to deport immigrants. It hurts me to see how they are deporting my people from the United States. It's unfair. It's unfair and it's a racist act.
And Cuban, they thought they were special. But they thought they were superior. But now those Cubans, they voted for Trump, are regretting their votes and are regretting in big time. Before we go to the video, I just noticed that some people is telling me, Jenny, I didn't know that I wasn't subscribed to your channel. Please right now go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And some people is telling me also, Jenny, I promise I subscribed to your channel long time ago and I just noticed that I was unsubscribed. Yes, make sure that you hit that subscribe button right now. Don't wait anymore. That way you can confirm that you are subscribed to my channel. Our goal is make it to 20,000 subscribers. Yay! We'll see we can accomplish, you guys. Yes. I know we can do it. Okay, so thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. You guys are simply the best subscribers on the planet. So stay towards the end because this video is gonna be really interesting.
So this is what I'm trying to understand here. What did Cubans who voted for Trump think? Did they think they were special? Did they think that Trump, who had been saying for months, even years, that TPS was not a legal way to come into the country, who thought that everybody from Latin America was munching of the government, who talked about the largest deportation in history, was going to just look the other way when it came to Cubans? Because what? Because they're special? These are the same Cubans that for a while kept talking about Mexicans and Central Americans and South Americans and saying that we were munching of the government for some weird reason, when most immigrants don't munch of the government because they don't even have a social security number. But well, I digress. The point is this. The guy told you straight up what he was going to do. And you thought you were exempt of whatever measure he wanted to take. And you didn't care about the rest of the people that were going to get hurt. And you still don't. And now you're crying on social media saying that they're illegally taking the people that he promised to pardon you if you had like some guys, let's say like if you had a college degree, then or you were going to school, what do they think? That the rest of us don't have education, or the rest of us don't speak multiple languages?
Let's check back in with Maria Salazar. She's a Cuban American, a U.S. Congresswoman from Florida, a Trumper, supporting Trump in 2024. Here's what she said after he won the election.
This is a realignment. It's a realization by the Hispanics that the new home is the Republican Party.
A year later, and we've all seen Trump's policies, ICE rounding up undocumented migrants, some who have been here for decades, paying taxes, raising children, retired. She's kind of changed her tune.
Hispanics married President Trump. They're only dating the GOP. I've been warning it. If the GOP does not deliver, we will lose the Hispanic vote all over the country. And unfortunately, it happened last night. In New Jersey and Virginia, Hispanics moved back more than 25 points to the Democratic Party.
In the past, and especially since 2016, I have thrown stones at people within my own community. And Cuban Americans have been a frequent target, because without them, Florida cannot be won. But what Donald Trump has done to that very Cuban community, I think, is unforgivable. So we have to have a conversation. I know that you guys have voted Republican in every election that I can remember, and that Florida is difficult to turn blue because of your support for Republicans. But correct me if I'm wrong, George Bush never went after your visas. He never revoked your visas. He never took away your food stamps. He never put your status in this country at risk. No other Republican, and more importantly, no other Democrat, has spit in your face the way Trump has. So I have one question. Solamente tengo una pregunta. Como alguien que es cubano también. ¿Qué vamos a hacer? ¿Qué es lo que vamos a hacer? Because the way I see it, no one can get away with this kind of betrayal. Please do not tell me that you are going to vote Republican in the next election, that you are going to throw your support behind Republicans in the midterms next year. Do the right thing, cross the aisle, and give the finger to these people for what they've done. Porque ustedes, especialmente en la Florida, no tienen otra ruta. You have to vote against these fucks in the midterms next year and in the next presidential election.
Just when I was running out of coffee, another Yumaris Lacey comes and fills my cup. This is the case of a Cuban trumpeter who doesn't even have the right to vote and had applied for her daughter through the family reunification program when suddenly Akata, her dad Trump, comes and cancels everything. And now her daughter, who had been approved, cannot come to the United States.
Look at this. About 21 days ago, she was approved. It's hard because supposedly everything was going to be so fast, and then suddenly this happens to you. It's like throwing, as Willie Alex said, a bucket of really dirty cold water on you. And Trump, touch your heart. You are a father, you are a grandfather, you are a brother, you are a son, and nothing. Please, let someone do something for us residents.
Today I feel pain in my chest. Today I feel distressed. I feel disappointed that one who put so much faith, so many good things in our president, as I was one of the first, well, I can't vote, of course, that I supported Trump. I said I was never in any of his terms, but I supported Trump 100.
Well, it's done. I regret it because it has really harmed me a lot.
Let's see, Yumaris Lacey, why should I feel sorry for you and your daughter when you supported the deportation of children born in this country without papers? Your daughter has no right to be here. Do you know why? Because this girl I'm going to show you next was born here and they took her away from her mother. Look at this, Yumaris Lacey.
I want my mom to come here because I miss her a lot.
Okay, baby.
The person you supported is deporting even children who were born here and have cancer. The person you supported is the reason your daughter is not here with you. The one you supported is to blame for children being taken from their mother's arms, and I don't care if they call me heartless because I don't have to have empathy for your daughter when you didn't have it for mine, who is about the same age as your daughter. Do you know why? Because you have condemned him to live in a country under dictatorship. At the end of the day, your daughter is going to be a public burden here because besides having the face of a fifth-rate hustler, you have a face that even a goat couldn't jump over. Let's see. Explain to me, Umaris Lacey, why do the children born here have to have fewer rights than your daughter who was born in Cuba and doesn't even speak English? And it's not about the language. It's that your dad Trump said that English is spoken here and that is the official language of the United States. So all the nonsense you want to bring from Cuba, let them learn English before coming here. Always reminding you that I'm not here to convince you, but to make fun of all of you because you were warned enough. Oh, one more thing. Don't say our president anymore when you're not even an American citizen and don't have the right to vote. Your president is not Donald Trump. Your president is Miguel Diaz-Canel, recycled Fidelista. Didn't want Trump. Take Trump. Deportable trash. Oh, let the coffee continue. Yes, yes. Keep crying. Go on. I love coffee.
As Sasha Tirado says, you didn't want Trump, take Trump.
And this is the thing. The people, the majority of the Cubans that came here to the United States, in the beginning, they were the white Cubans, okay? The lighter skinned Cubans. And these Cubans, somehow, they voted for the regime. This is the thing, they like dictators. So when they see a dictator that that they want to take over the United States, they are like, oh, I want a dictator. Please give me a dictator. This is what I want the most, a dictator. Yes, and they decided to vote for Donald Trump. And it doesn't even matter if they are traditionally Republicans. It doesn't even matter. This election was completely different to any election that it was before. This wasn't a regular Republican. He was calling the regular Republicans a rhino. Because that's the thing that dictators do. They divide and conquer. Of course, they're going to divide their own party. Of course, they're going to divide all the people that they can. Of course, the range of division is going to go all over the country and all over the society, any class of the society, because that's the way dictatorships get formed. They divide and they conquer. That's the way they always do it. And then they start to divide it even more. And in that time that they start to divide even more, anybody that is against of the regime, it had to either leave the country or submit to the dictator. Okay, you only had, at this point, you only had two choices. When the dictators get in full blow. As of right now, well, it seems like the system for the MAGA people, for Donald Trump, is crumbling. It is crumbling. As I told you, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she just resigned. Okay, this is what's happening in MAGA circles. Okay, the Epstein file is coming out in a month, and as soon as the Epstein file come out, I don't know if we're going to be able to keep DT in power. I don't know how they're gonna be able to do that, because that's gonna be really difficult. Okay, yes.
Hey, how come you guys aren't dancing and singing anymore? What's going on? Give me an update. Now that I listen to it, it's a pretty good song. How come you're not dancing no more?
Good evening, everyone. This video is going to be in Spanglish. Este es para mi gente que vive en Miami, los latinos, especialmente los latinos, los cubanos, y los colombianos. You guys mostly voted for Trump, and now your friends and families are paying the price. Your communities are paying the price. Do you not understand que los blanquitos want Miami to themselves? This is a cleansing of the black and brown people. Now that enough time has passed and Donald Trump has overturned the TPS for Venezuelans and Cubanos, I'm hoping that you're able to pay attention and vote blue. There is a Miami race that's going to happen December 9th, and it is your job, your duty, to make sure you vote for the blue candidate. Her name is Eileen Higgins. Now, the person Donald Trump is endorsing happens to be Emilio Gonzalez, I believe that's his name. Anyway, he gives him complete and total endorsement. It would be a great thing if we can embarrass Donald Trump again. I just want to make his life impossible just to live on. But not only that, it is also protecting your people, because a strong mayor in your city can actually help your families. So, comparte este video con toda la gente que vive en Miami, porque las cosas están bien difícil. And you guys caused this. Vamos a cambiar las cosas aquí en Florida. Y si nosotros empezamos en Miami, oh my God, that would be big. That would be bigly. Que tengan buen día.
Don't they like Bad Bunny? Bad Bunny, who is a superstar. Bad Bunny, who rubs shoulders with all the superstars of the world, who has broken all kinds of records. Bad Bunny, who was born in American territory. They don't want him. They are very offended that Bad Bunny is going to perform at the Super Bowl in January. Marjorie Taylor Greene now says that a law urgently needs to be passed to make English the official language in the United States, because Bad Bunny dared to say 3 or 4 words in Spanish on Saturday Night Live. And they don't want him. They don't want him. However, you who were born in Cuba, who were born in Venezuela, who perhaps do not speak English, or if you do, you speak it much worse than Bad Bunny, who do not have a dollar to your name nor any kind of recognition. Do you think they do like you? That they do value you? You are very wrong. You are very wrong. Bad Bunny, however, sacrificed millions by not touring within the United States, and decided to do his tour only in Puerto Rico and the rest of the world, because he wanted to talk to the world about what is happening with ICE. He wanted to make it clear that he does not want his fans to be at risk of ICE picking them up outside a concert. So he sacrificed a lot to give voice to the concern that so many of us have. But you're out there writing on Facebook, Trump 2028, because you like dictators and you think that's going to make them like you, value you, care about you, when all those people would want to kick you out with a rocket from the United States for you not to exist anymore within, at least within the United States, maybe not in any part. Start valuing yourself a little bit, start realizing what's happening, because it couldn't be clearer. But I think you like being in an abusive relationship.
Knowing this about Cubans in the United States being generally pro-Trump, I was really shocked that in Cuba, how much they dislike Trump. We were regularly asked about what we thought about Trump and why do Americans like him so much? Like, why is he...
They are going to this video in the algorithm because they don't want information like this getting out there. So please, if you can, like, comment, reshare, anything you can. It is increasingly obvious that Trump is going to be impeached when the Epstein files are released, and now he knows this. Despite the fact that while in office in 2025 alone, Trump has doubled his fortune to over $5.3 billion, he sent out a mass fundraising email begging his followers for donations this morning, claiming that he was going to be impeached whenever the Jeffrey Epstein files come out, and he needs your money. Trump pled in his email, in all caps, "I need you to be very generous this Thanksgiving." When a man who's increased his wealth up to $5.3 billion in 1 year alone is begging people for money, claiming that he's going to be impeached, we should listen. No one in the public knows for sure what exactly is in the files, what has been redacted and taken out of the files. Nobody is fully aware of what exactly they have on Trump or anyone else for that matter. But whenever we have a president who has increased his own personal wealth by unprecedented amounts, up to $5.3 billion through stuff such as crypto scams, and he needs more money because he's claiming that he's going to be impeached whenever the Epstein files come out, it really makes you wonder. Please like, comment, share anything you can to get this video out there, because they don't want people talking about this, and it's incredibly important.
Oh, holy shit. I've been trying to tell y'all, but listen to this and listen carefully.
Trump's in jail. You can quit building the wall.
Mexico is paying to build a wall. Why?
Why is that?
Over here, they're going to try to go back.
You're trying to go back?
To Mexico. Getting ready for a collapse. On the dollar. So they thinking that a lot of people's going to start
trying to go back?
Yeah, so now Mexico wants to hold everybody back.
I don't know if you understand the significance of what this man just said, okay? Mexico is paying for the wall because when the dollar collapsed, they think all of the fucking people that left are going to come back, and they don't want them. Because the dollar is about to collapse. Just like I fucking told you.
Here's a fact that's bringing me so much joy right now. So, my father's Cuban, my mom's Mexican. Her mom came to this country not necessarily legally. She voted, though, for Donald Trump. A lot of my extended family on my mom's side voted for Donald Trump. So here's the deal. If I'm getting deported, guess what? You're coming with me. It's what you wanted. We're going to drain the swamp together. We're going to give you exactly what you voted for. When the ICE officials come for me, guess who's getting ratted out? Congratulations, and I can't wait for the family reunion in Tijuana. Mi gente, mwah, love your faces. See you in.
Why are they arresting innocent people who are just fleeing from a dictatorship, from a murderous communist tyranny?
After the arrest of the young Cuban Laura de la Caridad González Sanchez, leaders of the anti-communist movement and 220A expressed their support.
Ay, 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 por Dios, yo voy a votar por Donald Trump. Economía.
There you go, ladies and gents. Another Cuban anti-communism group who voted for communism and now is angry at Donald Trump because he is imposing his mass deportation on Cubans in Miami. Pero ven acá, caballero. Olvídate de eso, caballero. Pero ¿qué tú crees que es lo que iba a pasar a hacer? What do you think was gonna happen? Los leopardos te están comiendo la carita, mira. Ahora, qué rica sabe la arepa. ¿Viste cómo se aprende? You see how you learn? Que te cago.
So I have an update on the Cuban business owner who assaulted a Latina because she disrespected Trump at his restaurant. Now, if you remember, the police came and they lied on the report because they are friends with the guy who assaulted her. And she was hurt during this altercation. We cannot let Ricardo just get away with this scot-free. It was very easy to confirm that it was him because he has a picture of him wearing the same shirt that he was wearing in the video. Not only was I able to confirm his identity, I was able to confirm that this is his business. And apparently he owns this location and a few others with his wife. And at this point, just in case there's any more doubt that this is the Cuban Trump supporter business owner, this is a photo that he posted back in February of his restaurant. With a caption, "What a beautiful photo. Long live my restaurant and America the Beautiful." Now, this photo is already on the wrong side of history, but it's really not going to age well for him. First of all, he might lose his business for committing a crime in Trump's name, which is what always happens to anyone that supports Trump. And then he might lose the country he loves so much by voting for Trump, which is what's going to happen for everyone who votes for Trump. Again, I'm so sorry that this happened to this woman. You didn't deserve this. Now that we have more information on who he...
All right. Trying to explain why the Cubans and the Venezuelans and all the minority that still support Donald Trump strongly to this day, even though Donald Trump openly disregard these minority groups and also express himself openly and in public places through speech and his own actions, saying that how much he don't want these people in this country. There's only one answer, because all these people came from a dictator country and they were brainwashed their whole life before they came to the United States. They still hardwired to thinking of being submissive to the regime, and the regime ain't gonna do anything to you. That's sad and, unfortunate, because they cannot switch to this U.S. mindset yet, because you stand up. If the government did something wrong to you, you have to stand up and fight them in court to get your right. They're not there yet. So that's why they want to support Donald Trump, because Donald Trump got them scared. And they are in survival mood now. And their only strategy in that survival mood is to support whoever threaten them to do bad things to them, so they be submissive. Okay, and that set up a very sad example and very strong example to stand up and fight Donald Trump, and don't be submissive, because at the moment you submit, you're dead, you're done for, and then there's no comeback. All right, so For those people, if you know, for everyone who watched this video, if you know that people like that, share this video with them. Keep telling them, you know, you need to stand up and fight. If you don't support Donald Trump, he will just die like a paper tiger. That's all. Okay.
Cubans are so incredibly traumatized by their experience that they will completely disregard the inhumane social justices of Trump. To them, capitalism is a saving grace from communism. It's fear and trauma, and it's effective. I can't speak for a community that I'm not a part of, but I can speak for how most Cubans think. And it's sort of, well, through capitalism and Republicans, we can choose our own path and destiny. Communism, which they equate to Democrats and socialism, robs you of this destiny and right, and you're not in charge of your own path. In Cuba, at the same time as wealth was redistributed, freedom of expression was also taken away, and people were murdered for speaking out against our government. They make that same situation here, even though it's not the same. For example, Trump has multiple times suppressed our freedom of expression. So although obviously I'm not Black Cuban, what Black Cubans have expressed to me in my community who vote for Trump is BLM is not necessary as long as you do the right thing. If any other creator wants to weigh in. Because
Latinos, doesn't matter where you are, Mexico, Cubanos, Argentina, everything, any kind of Latino you can possibly think of, always have thought that the lighter skin you are, the closest to proximity of white that you can be. And the unfortunate part is most Cubans are light-skinned, so they always think that they get a free fucking pass because they're somehow light-skinned enough, but they're never white-skinned enough. And not to mention that Cuba was a fucking dictatorship country, so it makes perfect sense that they want some fascist leader to go ahead and run the country. And not to mention they were colonized by Spain, and they have colorism like a motherfucker. And the internalized racism that they have, because Afro-Cubanos will literally say that they are white without like hesitating at all. I mean, I lived in New York for a very long time, and the Cubanos who think that they're literally white are fascinating to me because they literally feel as if they are the exception to the rule, but yet they do not know that obviously they were enslaved by Spain, and that they're not only Latino, but most of them are Afro-Cubanos or Afro-Latinos. So, like, it's just fucking wild. That's why.
Yeah, so I voted for Trump. You voted for Trump? But I thought you were... Yeah, I'm Cuban. But, like, you're like Cuban. What? I know. It's a bummer. I'm Cuban. What are you gonna do? Well, I'm gonna unfollow you because you're Cuban dudes and you're Cuban.
Hola, mi cubanos, cubanas. Hola, ¿cómo está hoy? Latinos in all parts of the community really need to have a hard conversation about racism in the Latinx community. But I'm going to do a little bit of education. Community really needs to have a... Oye, hola, ¿qué hola, mi cubanos, cubanas. Hola, ¿cómo está hoy? Latinos in all parts of the community really need to have a hard conversation about racism in the Latinx community. But I'm going to do a little bit of education for my fellow Cubans over here. Although it never hurts to learn too much if you want to stick around. The reason why so many Cuban Americans vote Republican and are racist in the United States is a really, really long history, but I'm going to give you the baby version of it. When Fidel Castro came to power in 1959, he instilled communism. His promise was to overthrow the rich and redistribute all the wealth and riches to the poor. I'm sure you know, just like in the United States, the most people who hold the wealth in Cuba were white, and the poor Cubans were black. The United States was committed to helping Cuba as an anti-communist country, so the United States granted them political asylum. This means the Cubans were allowed to come here, no matter what. Wet foot, dry land. But most of the ones that fled were, guessed it, white. So when Cubans vote for Trump, they say it's because they're anti-communist. They don't understand why other Latinos can't just come here legally like they did.
The reason that Miami, Florida has an affordable housing crisis is not because of immigrants. It's because developers in this city are the ones that run the city. Not the city government, not the mayor, not the commissioners, no. Luxury developers are the ones who run Miami. And if you don't believe me, I have the perfect example for you. Our current city mayor, Mayor Francis Suarez. You see, a few years ago, it was revealed that Francis Suarez was secretly getting paid $10,000 a month by a luxury developer known as Rishi Kapoor. It's estimated that Francis Suarez, the mayor of Miami, Florida, received anywhere from $170,000 to $200,000 because he claims he was working part-time for this luxury developer as a consultant. Because in Miami, Florida, it is legal for the mayor of the city to have a part-time job. And wow, what a coincidence that this part-time job is as a consultant for a luxury developer who at the same time is going to the city to apply for building permits, for zoning permits, for everything necessary to build his buildings, right? His luxury developments. Then people wonder, wow, why are all of these luxury buildings going up in neighborhoods like Little Havana, Alapata, Wynwood, Brownsville, Liberty City, Little River, Overtown, all of these places, right? It's because these developers have all of the go-ahead from our city government to do so. So any land that's available in these areas to actually build affordable housing goes to these developers instead. So what happens? These people come in, they build these luxury buildings that no one that lives in these communities can afford. And what happens? Those people then are displaced because they have to move somewhere else where they can actually afford to live. And these people are the people that built Miami, that built these communities. But no, they have to be pushed out by developers because our city government gives them the okay to do so. So guess what happens? Affordable housing is not prioritized by our city government. Luxury housing is, and now we have this rental crisis and this affordable housing crisis. And if you still don't believe me, I would love for you to watch the documentary on PBS known as Raising Liberty Square. It talks about how now developers want to encroach on places like Liberty City and Little Haiti because they don't flood as easily as all of the other areas in Miami they've already overdeveloped and gentrified. And how in recent years, another luxury developer came in promising that he was going to build affordable housing in the Liberty Square projects within Liberty City. And all those people, the majority of them, were displaced because when they finished these buildings and did all these things, they weren't as affordable as they were initially portrayed to be. So many people, many of the black residents that have lived here for generations, had to leave, had to be displaced and go somewhere else. So not only is this gentrification, but also climate gentrification, because these neighborhoods, the black neighborhoods of Miami, Florida, have historically been neglected, right? But when it's time to build these new buildings and give money to all these developers, yeah, we really care about the black people in Liberty City and in Little Haiti. No, they don't. They care about developing there so people can go pay massive rents, and the developers and the politicians are all happy with all of the proceeds that come from all of that. Not because of immigrants. Don't say ignorant things or make ignorant comments on my platform.
No saben cuánto me alegro de que Cuba esté en la lista de los países a los cuales Donald Trump les va a poner el travel ban. ¿Saben por qué? Porque la mayoría de los latinos for Trump son cubanos. O son cubanos o son dominicanos. Ahora falta RD. Porque cada vez que yo veo un maldito dominicano, un maldito cubano apoyando a ese hombre, me da una impotencia. Ay, no, pero qué vergüenza. Ya que a ustedes les encanta decir, es que los ilegales que no quieren, no van a poder venir ni con visa.
How are the Cubans doing with Trump? How are they doing with their dad? Let me show you how all of you are doing.
Since arriving in this country, all he has done is work and work like a mule. That is an injustice, a great injustice. This is beyond words. Because everyone knows we are Cubans and we come to this country seeking to improve our lives.
Everyone knows that we are Cubans, that we come seeking a better life. And do the other nationalities not come seeking a better life? Do you see how selfish you are? You never counted on the fact that you pay on this earth and no one leaves without paying the bill. Sorry, sir, que si all the harm you did, whether with your vote or with your words, those without papers supporting Daddy Trump. Unarmed, not me. I voted precisely so that innocent people wouldn't be deported. I voted for Kamala Harris. All the Democrats...
Latinos for Trump is probably one of the most embarrassing things that you could be. And I know if they find this video, they're going to be in the comment section. Capital letters Trump. American flag emoji, eagle emoji, like it never fails. But they don't like you. You think they do. And I know that something happened in your childhood, right? That, made this entire self-hatred journey begin, right? Maybe you were embarrassed your parents were speaking Spanish. A little kid on the playground said something to you, and it completely changed something within yourself. And okay, but how embarrassing. They're never going to welcome you. no matter how many times you say that you love that person that's sitting in that office, they still think of you in a certain way. And although I find this entire thing disgusting, right, and completely inhumane, there's a part of me, a small part, that hopes a Latino for Trump is taken, detained, put in a jail cell, mistreated. And I know that sounds awful, but it's the fuck around and find out. You know what I mean? Okay.
And these are other super sad stories of Cubans, okay? Some have been deported to Cuba where they are just going hungry, getting sick in Cuba and starving. And some of the Cubans are getting deported to Mexico. That is not even their country of birth. Because this is the thing, the regime, they don't want to take those Cubans they already left, okay? Because they know that for the survivor of the Cuban regime, they need the people to be here in the United States for they can send money to their families. If they are not, if Cuba is not receiving those family members that are here in the United States, they are not sending money back to Cuba, the survivor of the regime is almost impossible. So definitely Cubans, okay, when you FAFO, when you F around, you definitely going to find out. And comment below, what do you guys think about the regime? What do you guys think about the Donald Trump? What do you guys think about what's happening with MAGA right now and the Cuban situation? And not only the Cuban, what is happening to the country right now? I inserted a clip before here that says the dollar. They are preparing in Mexico, and this is true, okay? I checked the sources of this. In Mexico, they are preparing for the dollar deploy, okay, in value. And to receive the Mexicans, they are going to be back to Mexico. So Mexico is already preparing for that, okay, for the Mexican citizens. They are going to come back to Mexico because of the economy of the United States may crumble completely. So this is what the Trump supporter wanted. Really? You wanted the destruction of the American economy? You wanted the destruction of the country? Really? That's what you wanted?
Hace un mes fui deportada a Cuba, ahora tengo chikungunya y apenas me puedo mover de la cama. Paso 15 horas al día sin luz y no tengo nada que comer.
We are making this little video to send it so that people understand the situation we Cubans are really going through. Yesterday, we arrived here at 3 in the morning, 34 Cubans, and they dropped us in the middle of the street without identification, without a way to communicate with our families. Only by the grace of God were we able to manage. This is sad. There were men with us, men who were 75 years old, men who had illnesses, heart surgery, without medication, without pills, without anything, without anywhere to go. Thank God we have some friends. A few of us stayed with the little money that the family could send from the United States, and we were able to rent a small room to make it cheaper, you understand? And as I tell you, we are here abandoned in the middle of the street at the mercy of God, you understand? I really don't know how we've been able to survive this disaster. Here we have some brothers who are all there, as I tell you, with the need to share the expenses among everyone. They say that this country, that this area here is violent, that it has many cartel problems, but in reality it is unfair. It is unfair that they have thrown us out on the street, in the middle of the street, as if we were dogs at the mercy of God. I think that is unconstitutional. I think it is inhumane, you understand? The United States sells a dream to the whole world that it is a country of human rights. During the process I was going through in El Paso, Texas, under immigration custody, we had to argue with the police because they had us sleeping on the floor as if we were dogs. We spent 10 days handcuffed by feet and hands as if we were criminals of the lowest category. Not even to murderers. I think they do that, sleeping on the floor. without a pillow, without any kind of conditions. They put us on a Mexican bus. They took us from there to here for 4 or 5 days, sleeping inside that bus without bathing, eating bread with cheese. And then they left us to the mercy of God. In El Paso, Texas, a police officer beat me up while I was handcuffed, you understand? And I have no way of getting that video to show the news, the treatment we are really receiving, you understand? I don't want anyone to believe what I'm saying, plain and simple. I would like that video to be obtained. I sent my wife the day, the time, the data and the date of when it happened, but unfortunately no lawyer wants to help. You know, there's no one who wants to help. And may God put his hand and touch the heart of someone who really wants to look into it, because it's inhumane. And if they want to deport us, let them deport us to our countries, or if they are going to send us to other countries, at least give us an ID, an identification that we can go to Western Union and withdraw the $100 little that the family in the United States earn with much work, so they can give it to us to be able to rent a hotel, to be able to take transportation. We need an ID identification. How is it that we arrive here and they won't even give us an ID? I think this is unfair. This is unconstitutional. May God forgive me if I am wrong. Gravero, thank you. There will be thousands and thousands and thousands of Cubans who will keep coming. This is only the beginning of what is coming. Thousands and thousands and thousands of Cubans are going to go through this situation. Millions of Cubans are going to go through this situation. And if we don't protest and don't say that, please, I'm not saying that, well, we have to respect the authorities, but the authorities are not respecting our constitutional rights. The United States is a country of laws. But what are they doing with the laws? Or do the laws only apply to the rich? Those who are poor, we can't do anything. So if we don't unite and don't get that video where a police officer was beating me while I was handcuffed and show it to the world will continue to be blind to the reality we are experiencing. May God bless those who...
And we just made it towards the end of this video, and you guys know these videos, the Cubans for Trump, are one of my favorites, and I know it's one of your favorite guys too, because you guys watch it all the time. So thank you for staying towards the end of this video. Please don't forget to drop a like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Help us to support liberal media, subscribing to my channel, hitting a like button, okay, and commenting down below. Okay, thank you so much for the super thanks. Thank you so much for the comments, for the subscription. Thank you for everything. You guys are the best subscribers on the planet. Thank you, you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.